There we go. Thank you, gentlemen. This is the Sports Dump Soccer wrap-up / Champions League preview. And we're joined by the soccer brother. That's my brother, Mike Canale. And our resident expert, also known to play, what is the name? Footy, the angry Scottish soccer ball in our live shows. And co-star of the upcoming Ted Lasso show on Apple Television. I'm very excited. The most excited I've been about. And writer. That's right. One man wrecking crew. Brendan Hunt. Welcome, guys. Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. We're in the gallery view.
Put a shirt on, Joe.
I did put my shirt on. Yeah. We decided to record this despite the fact that I have two nice Sports Dump posters right behind the camera here. But I'm giving you the view of the closet and the sneakers and the yoga mats that have never been used. So there we go. I like your space, Brendan. I like that. This is a little like extra room kind of office-y area you have. I like the little pitch ceiling there.
Very,
I like it.
Low. I have to stoop down to get into it. I've hit my head going to the bathroom multiple times and only a few months here.
I've hit my head in this closet many times against walls, not the ceiling, very high ceiling. Mike, you have more space than us, but you're rocking in a chair. All right, we've established everything.
Yep.
So let's first off start with Mike is a Liverpool fan, and Brendan, you are an Arsenal fan. So both of you have something to celebrate in this recent weeks here. Of course, Liverpool winning for the first time in Premier League history, correct?
Yep.
Like under the current Premier League setup.
Mm-hmm.
And then Arsenal squeaking into European play with their victory over a injured Chelsea.
Yes, that was nice. I suspect I must concede that Mike's reason for celebration is slightly grander than my own.
Just a bit. And in grand fashion, too.
Yes. Very, very exciting.
But they didn't beat Man City's record.
By 1 point. I don't think by the end of the year, I don't think
it's hard in a season like this. They may have done it if the season had played straight through.
They were playing poorly before the poorly for them before the shutdown. And so I don't know if they would have or not.
I have a question. Why was
they had just lost to Watford?
Right. They got killed by Watford.
That indicates a dip.
Jeez. Huge dip.
And they got knocked out of the Champions League right before that as well.
Yeah, that's right. By Atletico. There's no shame in losing to Atletico, though.
Yeah. No, man, they're beasts.
But Watford, I don't know.
A little bit of shame. Now the top four: Liverpool, Man City, Man U, Chelsea. Same old. Different order, obviously. And then Leicester City squeaking in there, and then Arsenal. So the big six all get into European play. And only my Wolves get shafted out of the top.
They got knocked
18.
out. I know.
Oh, that's so bad. I'm so I know what a lifelong Wolves fan you are. It must be really tough for you.
I just feel like I would be the Traore of whatever. Does he get in a lot of fights? Who's somebody who gets in a lot of fights?
Who would fight Traore? Oh my gosh,
nobody would fight that dude. He reminds me of Ricky Henderson if he played soccer. You know,
his legs are huge.
It's so huge.
So big.
Did you guys now any soccer? I don't know about any soccer player, but yeah, his legs are huge. Kun Aguero's calves are like thighs. But have you guys seen Saquon Barkley's thighs? They are like sides of beef, and then he has regular sized calves, which makes it look weirder. But he jumped out of a pool with like a medicine ball out of a 3-foot pool and lands on the thing.
We're here on Joe Canale's Thigh Talk, everybody.
Well, this is because
thighs. Joe Canale's already seen them. I already looked right at them, already sized them up.
I did.
As a metaphor for him.
The reason I ask everyone else is to feel better about it myself. And also because I dared my wife to try to do it in the pool. She got up 2 steps on the thing. She fell, though.
What did she have in her hand?
Our daughter. That's not true. So same old in the what are your observations on the Premier League season? Oh, here's my thing. Does Henderson deserve to be the player the MVP.
I'll say this. I think I watched every one of their games this year. When he was not playing, they were a different side. They were absolutely a different side. I truly believe that.
You watched almost all of their matches.
I watched like since the COVID, since the restart. I think every game he was out.
You were going to say hoax.
Since the hoax start. I think the only losses were when he wasn't in.
Really? Oh,
I think even the Watford game. I don't know if he played that game.
That makes the case. And he scored more than he usually does, I think, this season. Let's just say like 3 or 4 goals.
I thought he was my favorite.
Not his job to score on that team.
True.
True.
And
apparently
that's the thing
with Firmino's job either. But you got guys who are there to do that.
Well, my brother tells me constantly that Firmino is the most important piece of that, and it must just be as a decoy. But when you have that many good players, like I guess that's the way it goes, and that's one of the tough things with soccer is judging a player because it's more than so many goals. As with Virgil, although Virgil did leave defenders in goals this year, I believe.
Yeah, I bet.
I think he did. So he's also scoring, but like it's it can't all be quantified in the way it often is in other sports.
Right.
So
they're like offensive linemen.
Yeah. So Tottenham makes it into that's always good. You need to have Mourinho in big competitions just for the trash talk. And then we move on just quickly. We'll go through the other leagues. I was talking to my brother about this yesterday. I was doing another podcast. Would you say Man United is like the most hated soccer team internationally?
You asking me?
Yes.
Well, they're definitely a team where you only love them or hate them. There's no one who's indifferent to Man U.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, I think Bayern Munich gets a lot of hate.
I hate Real Madrid because I feel like they are very dirty. Very dirty.
Certainly,
Ramos.
Sergio Ramos is a dirty player.
Yes.
Very dirty player.
Exactly.
But he's won everything there is to win.
Yep.
Including dirtiest player.
It's confounding.
He's the Bill Romanowski of soccer, unfortunately. We won't ask his views on anything else.
Well, when he was growing up as a young lad in Seville, he used to watch Raiders games, and he said, "This is my dream. How can I be like this Romanowski?" Sadly, the dream did not come to pass, so he had to change his dream, as we all do.
It's true. Sure. True. That was my dream, too, at one point. We all go through that dream. And then Juventus wins again, and then Bayern wins. Like, there's not a lot going on with mixing up those leagues. They're so –
PSG won.
Yep, they're so top-heavy. But anybody exciting? Leipzig goes, and then Borussia Mundulic or Mundubach.
I'm sorry, you're referring to Borussia Mönchengladbach?
Thank you. I knew if I botched it, you'd correct it.
Borussia Mundulic? I mean, that's.
Did you figure it out on the first guess? Did you figure it out on the first guess?
Borussia
Mundulic.
I get the lights for that one. For
our
viewers at home on YouTube, these lights will celebrate anything stupid or smart. Probably stupid mostly. They were a power in the 70s, yeah. Juventus, I watched a decent amount of Italian league games. A lot of scoring. I feel like scoring is up. Am I wrong?
Well, there's Atalanta right now in the in Serie A, and they're doing their. I believe this is a literal thing, but it's certainly true on vibe. What they're doing is unprecedented in Serie A.
How much they're scoring?
There have been the occasional high-scoring teams like the AC Milan teams of the Marco van Basten era.
Oh, of course.
But this is insane what they're doing. And
yeah. Well, they're just running a different system, right? Pace.
Yeah, it's their coach.
Are they the Suns?
I think is his name. But if they can come out of this year with the confidence this would give them, and I believe they're qualified for the Champions League again. They're still in the current Champions League.
Yes,
correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right. They've advanced already.
Oh, they're playing PSG.
But they're into the second round, so they don't even play. And PSG lost Mbappe, didn't they?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Injuries are big all of a sudden in this Champions League.
And PSG is still like the team you expect to underperform in the Champions League. So that's going to be a real interesting game. And they're not doing 2 legs, right? They're only doing one game at a time.
All the next round are 2 legs. They're finishing up these Juventus versus Lyon, where Lyon is up 1-0. Man City Real, Man City up 2-1. Barca Napoli tied. Barca.
Good old Barcelona.
Hey, I'm connecting with our Americans who don't know what any of this means. Bayern and Chelsea. Bayern's up 3-0, and Chelsea has to come in without their best player.
If I read correctly, there's going to be no 2 legs, though, in the quarterfinal or semifinals. This can be 1 game each.
That's what I'm saying. These 4 are finishing up their second legs just because they already did the first, and then everything will be winner take all at a neutral site, essentially. So, yeah, anything could – it's definitely going to be very exciting in that way. Now, why did TNT or TBS give up the rights? I was very surprised that Bleacher Report and everything – because isn't it on CBS now?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I don't either. It's
this breaking news.
The games are Friday and Saturday, right?
I believe CBS Sportsline picked it up because it got dropped by like TNT, so it won't even be on like regular cable.
Oh,
maybe they can't get their talents. I don't know.
I don't know either, but it makes me upset. I don't even know how to find it. We may have to sign up for CBS Sportsline streaming shit.
Here on Thigh Talk with Joe Canale, sometimes we get into media rights.
It's true.
He's talking to himself too.
Well, here's a story related to that. My brother and I and my father share a Nebraska account on one of the pay boards, and I've gone on a couple of real like political screeds, like real harsh towards those Midwestern Trumpers, and then you'll see on the same account, which is Mike Canale, you'll see like, some real hardcore, like you call yourself a Christian, Christ would spit on you.
It's my name.
Yeah. And then it'll be my dad being like, I think if Martinez can come back from this ankle injury, he could be full strength. And so like, if you look at the comments, there's one really calm, like recruiting question. And then these other ones, but I
didn't know it was my
your
name.
Everyone thinks it's you. And my father couldn't get into my ESPN account, but I had changed the password to a password I didn't want to send him.
Well, what?
I don't even want to get into what it was, but it was the original password that I picked when Brendan set up my Yahoo account in Amsterdam in a room much like the one he's sitting in right now, in the top of the shiny office, or not the shiny, up in the offices, same password. He doesn't remember what it is. Point is, I had to change the password to send a new one to my father. All right.
Should we try to guess what your password was from 1999?
I don't think you'll ever guess it because it was unrelated to. No.
Is it Chicago? Oh.
you can guess them.
69.
Yeah. I mean, I've had 69 in passwords before. Many times. Okay, so this is our nice transition to the Champions League. We're just going to skip over MLS. I sent a little message to you guys saying we might mention MLS, and immediately the response from both of you was like, yeah, I'm not prepared or want to comment on MLS at all. And I think they picked a real bad time to kind of have a thrown together thing when there was better soccer being played to draw attention away from it. And it happened so quickly. Like now it's the Philly Union versus Portland and Orlando versus Minnesota. Those are your semifinals.
Yeah,
the hometown Orlando.
Of the biggest powerhouses in American sports history. Throw out the record books.
It is.
And Orlando plays Minnesota.
It's kind of amazing that Zlatan played in the MLS because he's still pretty like relevant in Italy. Like he's a beast.
Yeah,
he's a beast. He he's not in his prime, but he's a guy who played close to it in that league, and he dominated. All right, so in the
tournament is like it doesn't count to the regular standings. It doesn't count towards the regular season. It doesn't count toward
none of this.
Anything.
It's a cup. It's like the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, like let's play some football or get or don't.
It's an exhibition. It's an exhibition essentially.
Yeah.
It's not even the World Baseball Classic.
I love the World Baseball Classic.
See?
Who doesn't?
It's not even. Mistake on my part. World Baseball Classic lighting. All right, so who do we think's going to win obviously, I think Chelsea's not going to win this game against Bayern.
No.
And it's a shame. I don't know how long Pulisic will be gone.
It's a pretty bad hamstring injury, right?
He said it's fine, or it's going to be fine, but still, I can't imagine coming back in time to play this game.
Oh, no.
What, this weekend? Yeah, no way.
No, they're all
let's talk about Pulisic, though. I mean,
go ahead. Yeah, great. Because you in our last soccer episode mentioned him as the future of U.S. soccer, obviously, and he's showing it.
Yes, and that was not a scoop, by any means then, but since the restart, he might have been the best player in England.
Yeah.
Somebody posted, I think Matthew Doyle, who's a big American soccer Twitter presence, that what Pulisic is doing is Messi-esque.
Whoa.
And Arlo White calls him unplayable, which is English for unstoppable.
Yeah.
Like you can't play against him. And Arlo refused to step down from that. And Arlo doesn't throw out superlatives, too much. If he can keep this going, I mean, it's shocking. We've just simply never had an American outfield player at this level. And what if he's the beginning of a new vanguard? I mean, what if Giovanni Reina is as good as him, or Josh Sargent is 2/3 as good as him?
Well, because these guys are old
Tyler
enough.
Adams, who went to Joe and my high school.
Did he?
Yep, he graduated from Royce C. Ketchum Senior High. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
And now he's still in Champions League. And Leipzig, even without Timo Werner, they could beat Atletico because they're a system club.
Yeah, that's right. Chelsea has Werner coming. He can't play in this game. Right.
He could have, but he chose not to. He chose to go to Chelsea now.
That's what he could have played for Bayern.
For Leipzig.
Leipzig, not Bayern. Yes. Okay. So he went to Chelsea. I guess you take the money quicker or whatever. Now, okay. So yes, he is transformational. And watching him, again, you mentioned all these guys. They're young enough that they could watch Messi at the beginning of his career when they were still like forming their own soccer identities. Like Messi's been around and dominant for 15 years?
Damn near, yeah.
Yeah. So when some of these kids were 6 and starting to just be aware of other soccer players, it's like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Not since Maradona has there been a guy to look at like that. And I don't think soccer was as widely seen in that time. You didn't have access to it like now.
Certainly here.
Yeah. I mean, you can look up every Johan Cruyff goal if you want to. You couldn't do that necessarily easily 10, 15 years ago.
Well, yeah, that's what's exciting about, young soccer players in America nowadays. Like, John O'Brien talks about how the advantage that other countries have over us is immersion. Like if you're young and good at football, you can just stay in football and your world is football so easily. Yep. And we did not have that available to us for even the best players, 20, 30 years ago. But now all you need is the internet, and you can be constantly learning and improving and getting drills and everything. I mean, it still comes down to, you got to have friends and a ball, and you got to get out there and you got to get those reps. But we are closer to be able to immerse yourself in the sport from a young age. And that is what is going to get us toward the thing that I actually care the most about in soccer, which in sports at this point, I want to see the United States win the World Cup. That's what I want.
That's your Cubs World Series now.
I want that more than 10. What's that?
I said that's your.
But even if the Cubs hadn't won the World Series, then I want this more.
Whoa. Well, you're a special kind of soccer fan. Am I coming in and out?
I do think that.
Joe, we're losing your streaming.
You're losing my streaming? It's probably because Molly's using her internet somewhere in here.
Using her hairdryer.
Her internet-powered hairdryer. All right.
I mean, I do think that I don't know about the Qatar World Cup, but the one after that could be the United States World Cup. I mean, that could be, but all these guys might be coming into their prime at that time, right? Mid to late 20s.
Yeah. That's what you need. That's, Spain had their great national team all come up together, and their primes were, overlapping a little bit, but all in that same area where they were so dominant. So, hopefully that is this is the first kind of competitive wave of that.
Is the 2026 World Cup also that we don't know where that is yet, right?
Yeah, we do.
Is
Isn't that America, Canada, Mexico?
That's the one in the States. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
with a little bit in
On top of
Mexico, a
having
little bit in Canada.
Perhaps on top of having a actual golden generation reaching their prime, they'll be playing only home games the whole time.
Yep.
And people will, and the last World Cup had great crowds, so there's no doubt this one will too.
Oh God!
In 2026? Oh,
yeah.
You mean compared to '94? Yes.
Yes.
It's still the most attended. I don't know how you say it. The most tickets sold of any World Cup ever remains the 1994 World Cup.
Wow. Oh, really? Well, because our stadiums collectively are probably bigger than anywhere else in the world.
When you could do 20 stadiums of 50 grand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can't do that in Holland.
Even England has 4 or 5 of those. Now maybe like 8, but yeah, we were just able to throw out all these football and college football stadiums that are in every state and city. So it will be massive here. It will be absolutely massive. But this time it probably won't take America by the surprise as it did last time.
Yes.
Like the World Cup started in Chicago, so I was vaguely aware of it. But
right, I remember that too a little bit. Yeah.
I had no sense of what a big thing it was everywhere. But now everyone's going to know, and it's going to be great. All we got to do is not die out as a species by 2026, and we're golden.
You say it like it's easy.
Right.
You say it like that's easy. Now, we don't have a lot of news right now. It's all speculation on transfers or whatever, so we won't talk about that. But my brother, when we were texting, brought up an interesting scenario. So Newcastle, I guess the sale fell through to where they were going to be sold to a very, very wealthy Arab conglomerate or something. I'm not sure if it was royalty or who was going to buy it, but
I think
somebody
it was
rich,
royalty.
somebody very rich. And he was supposing, if it had gone through, that they could have taken all the overpaid guys from other teams, like Bale, Ozil. Who was the other? You said another one.
Coutinho, James Rodriguez.
Yes. So they get every team's overpaid guy who they don't want just because it's like, we got money. Yeah, we'll throw it at all these guys and see what happens. That would be kind of a fun team.
Oh, that would be so fun.
That's kind of a good script idea.
Tradition, really.
They've done. That's kind of what they do because they've had money before.
They've gone in and out. Their current owner is an absolute disaster. I mean, he's James Dolan, but with a Kansas City Royals-sized franchise.
Ooh, that could be death for a franchise.
Yeah.
So you think he will sell it at some point?
Yes, and that sale was interesting because it seemed kind of like they were selling to the country of Saudi Arabia, and using this team kind of arguably, as United Arab Emirates have done for Manchester City, of using the club as essentially the publicity arm.
Yes.
The PR extension of their country. And, Saudi Arabia's had some bad press for a few things over the last 2 years. And
the press has had some bad Saudi Arabia.
It's true. It's true.
Sad, but true.
It's true.
There you go. That is interesting. And where's the line there with stuff like that? Especially if
country after country doing that,
Yes, a country doing that. Interesting. Well, so the politics of it are, as always, ugly, but the fantasy team potential more interesting.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen, I guess. Well, I wonder if Bale or any of those guys, I guess they'll find other teams, right? They can't just stay.
I don't think anybody can afford, unless they go to China, which nobody wants to go to China right now.
Makes so much money.
I think they're all going to stay. Coutinho Coutinho may go somewhere on loan. I don't think anybody's buying him.
Yeah, so they get him cheaper that way.
Ozil will end up in Turkey somewhere, and Arsenal might end up paying for a big chunk of his salary, but they're the morons who paid so much for him in the first place. That was a disastrous contract. Absolute
disaster.
Well, did he sign it after? He had one decent season, didn't he? Or a half season?
He had a couple of good seasons, but since he signed his contract, he has something like 7 assists.
Yeah. Did he sign it before the old coach left, or was it with Emery?
It was still under Wenger, yeah.
It was
Wenger. Wenger's lasting gift.
Yeah, that's what we'll remember him for. 3 bad years of Mesut Ozil.
His legacy is mostly that.
Joe, let's talk about Brendan's show because we don't have.
Oh my God! Yes. Yes, your show. That's what I meant to. Thank you, Mike. So tell us about the show.
Right,
August 14, Apple Television.
It's August 14th, Apple TV Plus, Ted Lasso. It's based on the ads we did for NBC Sports about 7 years ago, where he plays a bumbling college football coach who becomes coach of a Premier League team. The show is a deeper dive into that and is not so broad as those ads were. The trailers out there. If people want to have a peek, we got a review in Entertainment Weekly today. We got an A- from Entertainment Weekly.
Oh, that's great!
I've never gotten an A- in my life.
A-, that's a great score.
Absolutely.
You don't see that.
What's the minus for? I am going to get on there and I'm going to set them on fire, Brendan, for that minus.
Is it, Brendan, when it comes out on Apple TV, is it all the episodes streaming at once?
Great question. It'll be 3 episodes first and then 1 per week after that.
Oh, all right. So a little binge followed by anticipation.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now, if we watch it, do you get paid more if we watch it over and over? Because I could just set it to play and get out of the room.
No, I don't think it's a Spotify situation, but I appreciate that.
Well, I'm going to do it anyway. Maximum volume. Over and over.
Maximum volume.
Those weeks where it's only one episode is going to be tough.
Why did Molly finally leave, Joe? Well,
the important word in there is finally. Like as if what was, and there's any number of things that it could have been. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to that a great deal. And your character's name is
Coach Beard.
Coach Beard, also an American?
Yes.
Yeah.
Technically the only other American in the show besides his family.
And you are the assistant coach. And does your character know soccer?
We don't quite address this in the show, but the notion is that we get hired like a week beforehand after Ted Lasso coaches Wichita State football to the Division II title.
Wichita State has a football program. Very nice.
No, they don't. No,
I know, but like I think it is. And Sudeikis keeping it Kansas.
Keeping it Kansas was the main thing, yeah. But the first time you see me, I'm reading a soccer book, Inverting the Pyramid by the great Jonathan Wilson. Fantastic book. But the notion is that since we got hired a week ago, I'm the one who is, cramming all the soccer knowledge and information that I possibly can. So Ted can focus on, on not on the X's and O's because he's not an X's and O's guy.
I got it. He's a Mac Brown.
Sure.
Kind of a CEO.
He's a Mac Brown and a Brene Brown at the same time.
Ooh, wow.
And you're like the Tex Winter, kind of? Like you're the...
But only if Tex Winter found out about the triangle on the flight over.
Like literally found out about the shape called a triangle on the flight over.
Right,
and try to use that.
That offense would work. The triangle would work in soccer as well as any basketball offense, probably.
Soccer, it does work. Soccer is all triangles, basically.
Yeah. Well, one last thing I wanted to ask you. I don't know if you answered before. Is Atalanta? Are they playing like the total football, like the Dutch, or are they playing like a Suns offense where it's just forward all the time, or is there a way to relate what they're doing in a way that a non-soccer fan might get?
I haven't watched them, and I've only read on them a little bit, but I don't think they're necessarily doing total football. I suspect, given the numbers they're putting up, they're doing something much more akin to 7 seconds or less. It's
just getting in there and shots on goal.
Just go, and wear teams down.
Yeah. Well, and
it's going to be fun to watch. That PSG game is going to be great.
Are they doing the 5 subs as well?
I believe so. I believe they're still
because that could also. I think.
Break.
I wonder how that will affect teams going against a pace like that. We will see.
PSG also, what hurts them is they haven't had a real competitive game in months.
Well, that little
they just had the French Cup.
French Cup where Mbappe got hurt.
But
that's right.
But they're playing, French minnows. They're not playing a Serie A.
Exactly. Yep.
Serie A team that's been playing every week for 6 weeks.
That's true. Mm-hmm. That could be a bloodbath, which is always fun in soccer.
Be interesting. Without Mbappe, it's big. It's big. That's gonna be a good game.
All right. Well, I look forward to all those. And Sports Dump fans, when I find out where you can watch it, I'll probably forget to tell you till after, but I'll try to remember till before. And I want to thank Soccer Brother. He's my regular brother too, Mike Canale, and Brendan Hunt, my Dutch brother, who did so nicely as to remind me of Dutch architecture in where he's sitting right now. Yeah, very nice. Thank you for joining us, guys. Brendan, can't wait to watch the first 3 episodes and then the rest of the episodes afterwards. Ted Lasso, look for it, folks. That's
Very
about it.
exciting.
Anything else? Yes.
This is great.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mike.